Here in C, good morning. Hey, Montu. Bright and early. What's up, Max? Put Max. Welcome, welcome. Oh, yeah, Tesla up. Getting paid this morning. We spent some time on that yesterday in the live trade room all day. Yeah, yeah, I'd say yeah. It's a good, you know, I'm gonna be taking some profit right off the open. What's going on, Pinkski? Dylan, my man, Eric A. Coin was broken. You know, Tesla, we're right on it, or at least what I was doing planning. If you weren't going against it, I mean, that's okay if anybody did. I mean, could have been wrong easily, right? But you know, we got it right. So it's just the beginning of earnings season. So you know, it's one touchdown, one score, one game, one battle, but it's not over yet, right? It's a season, earnings season. So stay humble, right? But yeah, it's good that it worked out in a big way. I'm just orienting this, and we're gonna get Yep, I was wrong on the robo-taxi event, and it gapped down on me too much more, and I lost a little bit more than what I wanted it, what I expected. And you know, keep going, and trade the next setup. And that's a trader's lifestyle, right? We're not going to be right on every single trade. But this one, of course, you know, I went a little bit heavier as discussed yesterday in the chat, and not in the chat, in the live trade room, right? So even put some things in my IRA, etc. I did put on a small hedge lower, right, for like what 79 cents. I'll discuss that in a moment, which is going to be a loss, but I'm happy about that because I did small size on that, just a small little hedge in the event that I was wrong. I had something, right? I had a little something there to ease the risk, right? But that's cool. The outcome was good. All right, cool. Okay, I'm your guy, your host, Mr. Blue, yeah? TradePhantoms.com. Today's date, October 24th, 2024. And we're going to spend about an hour, right? See a lot of phantoms in here already. So we'll spend an hour. I'll do some pre-market prep, starting out with some futures. And of course, I'll go over to Tesla, which is top of the list. And then we will see what the open brings us. Yesterday was a wild day. It shouldn't have been as wild, but the way that it happened, at least for the way that in the SPX, had a lot of distractions yesterday, if you remember, just personally. But we sifted through. Yesterday was wild. That being said, anyways, let's move on. So we have today, Thursday. I think today is the day. Yeah, Joe Frank is segueing us right into what I was going to say next, which is perfect. And today we actually we have some stuff happening. Not only in the U.S., it's been pretty quiet early part week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, right, for the most part. And then I mentioned this on Tuesday's YouTube as well. I'm not going to spend too much time here, but not only do we have some news here, flash manufacturing at 9:45 Eastern Standard Time, which is a market mover. Okay, high impact for the most part. Okay, so that has to be on your radar this morning. You know, 15 minutes after the open, 9:30 a.m. Eastern. It's the open, of course, and then we have 9:45. So 15 minutes after the open is when we have that news, right? And this is usually when the live stream on YouTube here ends. But let's see if we can you know, go a little bit longer for you folks on here and absorb that data point or that news data point too. In addition to that, you know, we had some euro news, okay, pound as well, and then we have later for you forex traders, which you know I'm in forexes right now as well. I'm long dollar, USD JPY. What am I? Short euro USD. The pound has one of the highest rates right now, as you can see randomly right here on the left, ironically, right there, 5%. So I went a little bit more with the euro USD, short because it has a lower rate, but I don't want to talk about Forex right now. But yeah, just keep on your radar later for Forex traders. Bank of England, Bailey speaks, that's a big one there. Tomorrow being Friday, not much, not even the US. Basically Canada has core retail. So just it has to do with more Forex, not really much of US markets. All right, but today, definitely put on your radar, 9:45. And okay, it's kind of unbelievable that I just skipped over unemployment claims, but that's already out. That's already out, right? So anyways, let's dive in. I'm gonna start here. I always bring this up no matter what. No matter what, I always bring this up. Not this. This. Okay. TradePhantoms, institutional order flow of demand and supply. Okay. And starting from a top-down multiple time frame approach, right? Top-down multiple time frame, monthly, weekly, daily, orange, yellow, blue. I kind of color code certain things here. Okay, quick little checklist for the group and the team. Bullish candlesticks, great. Okay, location being most important. All right, bearish, location being most important. Okay, supply, downtrends, etc. Okay, then the liquidity map. And if you understand this, I always say that I get a lot of feedback on this. When I learned this too, I know how powerful this is. Once you understand this liquidity map, that's it for the most part. Once you orient yourself and be patient and disciplined for the right areas, right zones, right locations, okay, right levels, in the proper context and trend, etc., or lack of condition, I should say, you'll do quite fine. You'll do quite fine. But this requires a bit more time and teachings regarding that. Futures, starting with the major four indexes. S&P upper left, NASDAQ upper right, Dow Jones lower left, Russell 2000 lower right, okay? Right now, futures are up, okay? We had a swipe yesterday. I'll probably talk a little bit about that today, as well as I kind of just go through things here on the routine here. So they're up, right? The stronger one right now is NASDAQ. NASDAQ is more stronger, up 0.85%, give or take, okay? Followed second place would come in S&P. We got Russell third place, and we got Dow Jones kind of oversleeping, hitting the snooze button here today, right? Not participating in the upward move. Yeah, that swipe was nuts. I wish the way that it all happened. I wish we just the way that it all happened. I mean, we caught the move down. Took a little bit more exposure and risk on the SPX than what I wanted to. Especially for the team, but yesterday should have been we should have crushed it, like we should have crushed it way more, but just the way that things played out, anyways, my fans would know, they'll go watch that recording and things like that, but it's all good. Volatility, it was an inside day breakout or inside range breakout for yesterday. So, and GEX, man, that thing told us we nailed the right timing on short and rode puts all the way down on IWM and SPY. And then we got a little fancy, or I locked in. I broke a trading rule. YouTube. I broke a trading rule yesterday, and I had to pay for that a little bit. It came out good because I'm experienced. Okay, but you had to be there. You had to have been there yesterday to know what I'm talking about. You can't even explain it. You had to have been there. Came out okay. Okay, but I was taking some risk that shouldn't have been. Okay, to ease my way out. But everything, as an experienced trader, not to spend too much time here. I kept calm, cool, relaxed, okay, and eased out nicely. And even if some people might not even know what I was doing regarding credit spreads and SPX, or if people were just on the sidelines watching, okay, or even if people were in it with me, they're still learning how to do that. Right. So yeah, blue, the spread was fine. It was patience and fortitude. And the one thing, right? Because you have to be honest, right? And I'm open and honest on everything, right? Everything that I do, y'all see, right? I did anchor my my spread in that demand zone, right there in that demand zone, right at the 75 handle. I still have the notes from yesterday's dust, right? So yeah, it was fine. The only thing was I just one little rule break. This is why rules are so important, right? Be below the level, right? So and I originally wanted to get down to 65, all right, but we were good, all right. But I think it was good for people to see, right? Especially for people that are interested in trading SPX. It's a beast, right? So you need days like that to gain respect for how powerful it is. Okay. Okay, so I don't want to get too much off topic there, but yeah, yesterday was a movie, as the kids would say. Okay, so daily time frame. Look at we had this inside range, right? I grade this box out. I know it's a little tough to see here. That might be a little bit better there. Okay, I had this box with like inside, and then yesterday we finally kind of broke out with some authority, right? But we came down. We came down to this area here. There's a couple levels here. The S&P kind of overshot. It did overshoot. It did overshoot this little daily level here with the 20 PM moving average just a little bit there. Okay, so depending on where you had your stop loss, you might have got swiped out potentially there. And in fact, I was actually looking for the swipe on SPX. It was like we made it kind of not a joke, but it's like, okay, this is the last frontier. Yesterday, I was like, okay, we can't. I'm not gonna make. I'm gonna do what I need to do here. But this is a swipe, potentially a swipe right here, and it was called max pain, right? So stopping people out. So understanding liquidity is so important. So yesterday, because of my experience and things like that, the way that I've been trained out there in New York and all that, I didn't 100% know, but I knew that, okay, relax, be patient, folks, right? We got this swipe right here. People get stopped out. People are making decisions. It's like max pain right now, right? So, I could, some people making the wrong decisions at the wrong time immediately right there. That ended up being the bottom, and then we just faded up for the rest of the day, right? We didn't come back up and turn green, okay? The trade was okay, turned green and profitable, okay? But, that's where the market stopped, and then it kind of rebalanced back, came up back into at or around VWAP, okay? So again, that's a lot of language for yesterday. But that being said, even though we had a nice drop yesterday, right? Did we break any trend or structural zone? Okay, because if I look at the weekly time frame, do we break this uptrend? We didn't break any uptrend. Okay, that was just a day inside. Okay, and then we needed a day like that, right? You need markets to move, right? So it opened up a bit yesterday, which is good, right? It opened up yesterday, which is good. All right. So today we have, of course, Tesla rocking out earnings, and Tesla's a big stock in the S&P and Nasdaq, right? So that's going to help this market trying to grind up. Okay, just because yesterday was a down day does not mean that's going to be a down day here potentially today. Nasdaq, on the other hand, same thing here. We had this box range, and again, we broke it, right? We had a couple levels here. Some of them were aggressive. Mentioning you want to be extremely careful here. Okay, and Nasdaq didn't overshoot the level that we had, the better level that we had planned out. It did overshoot a couple of the not so great levels. Okay, that's why it's super key to understand what's a good level and what's not a good level. Okay, and Mr. Black does a beautiful job at taking you all through the process through what's good and what's not good based on a scoring system there, right? So so we're back up now. Inside bar, yesterday's high, yesterday's low. We're kind of back halfway up. Even though futures are up this morning, does not mean that we're going to go up, continue as well, right? So trade the tape, as we always say, trade the price action at Phantoms, and we always talk about that, right? So we're back inside of yesterday's range, midpoint of yesterday's kind of breakout, okay, or I would say breakout, but kind of a swipe. It was a nice little inside bar swipe. Okay, we'll get down to the smaller time frames in a moment. You'll be able to see price levels, etc., on the darker background better. And now we got Russell. Russell, we took a nice little short yesterday on Russell. That was the one that was just holding steady for the most part. And then once S&P and Nasdaq kind of opened up, that took Russell with it too. The thing about Russell today, this morning, just like the others as well, coming kind of down into some demand. And the 20 PM moving average just rebalancing there. We are at around low range on Russell over here. So right, so I have a box here, box there. Again, you always want to go through your monthly, weekly, daily process as well. This is only the daily time frame right here, so you have to look at multiple time frames. Okay, but Russell's been in this range for basically since September, right? So and we're back down closer to the lower range. Okay, and Russell is typically a little bit more of the weaker one. So just be careful. Just gotta be a little bit more careful with Russell here this morning. That would be my humble 2 cents there. All right, I'm gonna switch over to the darker time frame or charts here. And switching the time frames here, switch this over to S&P futures. So I got the monthly on the left, weekly here in the middle, daily on the right. Monthly, weekly, daily, right? Top-down approach, super important. Okay, I'd say the utmost importance regarding trading and investing. Okay, even if you're a short-term day trader, scalping. Okay, super important monthly time frames. I'm going to drill down to the smaller time frame. I got the 60-minute time frame up here, 1 hour. I got the 30-minute time frame here. I got the 5-minute here. I got the 2-minute here to give you kind of lay of the land. I'm going to pop up in that 60-minute time frame as usual. Map out our Globex traps or our Globex high and low. Okay, which is fancy word for overnight session. Let me just take this box over here real quick. That was the range box, right? Globex low, so far we were, what, right here? Globex low, this gray space is the overnight and think or swim. Globex high, so far right here. All right, so these blue lines here are the Globex high and Globex low, okay? Now, not to talk too much about yesterday, but just to show you, we had this level right here. This was the lower range, super aggressive. This got blown out finally, right? We were talking about that, right? Just be careful with this. Have an aggressive, okay? Could be potentially for liquidity sweep. And boy, did it liquidity sweep. Not only did it sweep, it didn't sweep and correct. It swept lower, and it went all the way down here. I had referenced this blue impulse, basing impulse right here. You can maybe go watch the Tuesday YouTube to get some reference on this, okay? Because I want to move forward here, okay? But on Tuesday I was talking about this impulse basing impulse on daily, and then we had this impulse basing impulse IBI right here coming in 58.27, okay? And this is kind of a wide zone here, right? Right? And this is what we were talking about, where if you put your stop loss right below a level, because of the momentum and the negative GEX that came in yesterday with this market, and the momentum with the VIX just spiking to the upside, outside bar, okay? It fell through, it just followed through. So it was sifting through liquidity. So unfortunately, if you had your stop loss right below that level, okay, you might have got clipped out right there. And again, this was that note that we had. Yes, exactly, Montu. Speaking like a pro trader, like a market maker pro trader, brother, right? So this is why I always stress, you know, right below those levels is tricky, right? And this is why I made that note on yesterday, you know, to hold strong on that SPX trade as we were, you know, long from this area here, okay, on SPX. And this was like that, remember from yesterday, folks, the final frontier liquidity sweep? That was that right there, okay? So it sucks. Some folks might have got stopped out, okay? And this is where I was like, you know, I know it hurts right now if you're in the SPX trade, but just wait. It's the final frontier of that liquidity sweep, right? And that ended up being the bottom of the market, right? Max pain, when everybody was like, oh man, it hurts. Okay, all right, liquidity sweep, all right? And, you know, I made that note, and, you know, for you trolls on YouTube, because they're always there, all right? This is all done live. Boom, there's the note from yesterday in the circle right there. All right, and that was it right there. So right below that level, there's that little box right there. Okay, this is the IBI 60-minute. I'm on a 60-minute on SPX. Okay, and that was it right there. I made that note yesterday. I was like, hold strong, traders, hold strong. And then whoop came up, and then you know, everything was okay. Okay, assuming you didn't get stopped out there. Okay, but what does that mean for today? What does that mean for today? So, you know, we could reference this, of course, yesterday's low, okay? Now, this level kind of got wiped out, right? This level got, you know, the demand got wiped out there, right? Well, there was demand there, but it swept through, right? So therefore, you know, we would have to go a bit more lower. And now today, just to keep a long story short, 5796 right in here, okay? You know, that could be another level. Now we have level on level in here, right? We have level on level in here. So there's a couple levels down in here. I mean, you know, are we gonna get down here today? I'm not sure. Okay, be diligent, right? Some people might have thought that we weren't gonna get all the way down to 58, you know, 20s, 58, you know, 10s on S&Ps yesterday, right? And it swiped. All right, that escalated quickly, right? So this would be the next kind of level here, 57.96, you know, and we have impulse basing impulse, and that would be right below yesterday's low as well, and that could be an area where you could potentially take some, you know, if you're short, take some profit first and foremost, and then you could potentially take a Globex trap long here, right? And so I have 57.96, 57.87, 57.70, okay? And, you know, just be careful, okay, right here, you know, there could be some liquidity sweeping right here, right below level on level, okay? So you have level here, level here, level here, all right? So, you know, I would put a pin in, call it 57.80, okay, for a potential, just be careful with that liquidity sweep right there, okay? Especially what's been happening lately, right? So I'm going to now, you know, just to clean this up a little bit, okay, now that we finally broke this range, okay, I'm gonna delete a couple of things here, so I'll do that live, okay? On recording here, all right, so I'm gonna take this one out, the low range that was being held for what, weeks, days and weeks, a couple weeks, maybe 1 or 2 weeks. You know, I can keep the box there just for reference, all right, but I want to clean up the lines a little bit there. All right, I'm gonna take this liquidity sweep out there, make this one less exaggerated here, so we can actually see some pricing and all that. Okay. And let's move forward. Oops. All right, so 58 down to 5,800 down into the 50, 5770s, give or take. Okay, that would be the new liquidity in the event that we make new lows from yesterday's low. Okay, now for some aggressive traders, could you use this area from yesterday as a reference point to potentially take a Globex trap long? Of course you could, right? That comes in at what, this low yesterday. I kind of want to keep that liquidity line right there. Low from yesterday is what, 5,800, right? So nice even number too as well. So anybody who's like trying to broke the even number right below 57.96, you might just want to wait for 57.96, okay? Especially with the sweeping that's been going on yesterday. Okay, Globex trap short, do we have supply above Globex high? The answer would be yes. All right, remember, we're still in a macro bull market, right? So I just referenced these levels right here. All right, be careful here. This has been tested. This is not prime, okay? You get little red boxes here. I didn't even put a price on it, right? So if I don't have a price on it, that just is code for like, be careful with these levels here. They're just wicks, things like that, okay? But we can lean against this at least. Some of you folks, I'm probably sure looking at some of my phantoms in here, probably looking at this, drop base drop right in here from yesterday's kind of drop down. I want to say sell off, but just kind of drop. That markets need to drop. Markets can't go up forever, right? So there's a level right there for some aggressive traders, okay? And you might even want to be, even though, this is kind of developed overnight right here, you might want to be a little careful with that one. So, you can look at these levels here, call it the 5890s of the world, 5900 handle, okay, S&P futures. But I would still, again, want to have y'all understand more of liquidity, and in the event that we snap these levels that are not that super great, right? Okay, and we are in the context of still a macro picture uptrend. Okay, yesterday was just a pimple, okay, a pimple on the blip there, right? So that's no big deal right there. That's not a drop, okay? I mean, that's not a major trend changing drop, okay? So I wouldn't be surprised one bit if today or tomorrow, give or take, we come right back up here. Okay, and so therefore I have that price up there. What is that, 59.15s? And that could be aggressive short for a potential Globex trap short. If it happens today, that would be fairly interesting. Okay, up here. I didn't mean to move that line. All right, I gotta move on. Just looking at the time here. All right, above that, it's just all-time highs. All right, so it's kind of scary, right, to short this market for the time being. NASDAQ. I'll go quicker here. Or at least try to. Box. Great. Range. We talked about that even on Tuesday on YouTube. Globex low so far was right here. Basically, we opened and just grinded up all night or evening, overnight. Globex high there. Okay, I gotta clean this up a little bit here. All right, now we've been talking about this level, right? On Tuesday, yesterday I was like, okay, be careful with this. It's been working, but 1, 2, 3. I mean, how many times do you expect this to work? Yesterday was the day, boom, done, right? Gone, right? This level 2, not prime, not fresh, right? I didn't, right? Not prime, not fresh. This was a test over here, right? Boom, done. So, right, cooked. Right, so this is why I have all these aggressive. I didn't have a price on this one here, right? So aggressive here, okay, and then we went on a stop loss hunt. Okay, we were talking Santos, one of our good members at Phantoms, okay, and then Mark's not even sleeping. Is that Mark Wahlberg? Is that you, brother? My man. That might be Mark Wahlberg. If not, it's fine too. Santos stop loss. So we were stop loss hunting yesterday, right? And long story short, Nasdaq did come down to the better level. Okay, right here, IBI, and that one did not overshoot. Okay, that was the better one. Okay, demand unfilled. We have some notes here, right? So 20,100. Ended up working out really nice. S&Ps swiped below that level a bit lower in the equivalent level, but Nasdaq, came in and dipped. Nice. There you go. 'Tis me, yes sir. Mark Wahlberg, my man. So anyways, that's yesterday, right? But I have to clean this up, folks, right? I have to clean this up. So I'll keep the boxes here, but these lines, I gotta get rid of them just to clean this up, because we gotta move on, right? But this is why I like to keep them on and have everything on recording and things like that, right? I'll keep Mr. Santos stop loss down in here. there as well, right? So we have Globex low. Now, real quick, some of my phantoms, you know, in the event we just touched this level and dipped right back out. So, and this is below, this demand level is below the Globex low. So could you still potentially elect to take another trade potentially off this NQ NASDAQ futures at 20,100? Yes or no? Answer could be potentially yes. Is it higher? Is it as high quality as yesterday? As it was IBI at 20,000. Yeah, Montu. Yep. We have that. We have that down here too, as Montu is mentioning here. So we have 20,000. That's what I was going to say next, right? Now, if you don't want to, take this zone again because it got dipped already, and your trade plan is I only like to take the first test back, the absolute prime levels, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, then this one might not be as great, right? This one might not be as great. Now, because we only dipped in and rocketed out of there yesterday, okay, you might want to come a little bit lower on that and come deeper into the zone again, deeper into here. Or as our good friend Montu and member Montu is mentioning, if I just copy this here real quick to save some time, the level below that, you know, 20,000 right here, close enough. Fix that box there. Okay, we have something right here, right? Now, the only thing with this level right here is, you know, it's a demand zone, right? Drop, and then basically we have a rally right here, right? If I investigate this, okay, now this was developed overnight. And also, in addition to that, is there a lot of time spent here? And is it kind of like weird, choppy price action, albeit over here to the left, right? So this 20,000 handle right here, albeit, yes, it's demand, but you have to put that in perspective too, okay? You know, some choppiness here, right? Right? So the liquidity is not so great there, right? But in the event that we come down, okay, and markets are, you know, really, right, we could have a, you know, a mean reversion off of this, right? A mean reversion off this. And one of the things that you want to do is not as a secret, it's no secret, but what you want to do is, I'm going to make this box real quick, and I'm gonna have to move on and do oil and gold extremely fast. I'm going to make this box like an obnoxious hot pink color so it stands out for a moment, okay? One of the things that you want to do here when you see something like this is, you know, highlight this box area here, and then real quick, this one simple trick, go back up to the higher time frames. Okay, go back up to the higher time frames on the monthly, the weekly, and the daily. Okay, and also, you know, I'd have monthly VWAPs, yearly VWAPs as well on there. And then you want to see what that pink box, that highlighted box, I just made it hot pink so it sticks out, right? Where that is located, okay, on the monthly, weekly, daily. Okay, and you know, do we have some daily demand down in this area here? We have a drop, bit of a basing here, daily low, daily low, daily low, daily lows. I mean, then we do have a rally out, right? So there is stuff on the daily right in here. Okay, but again, this is an impulse basing impulse, and then this drop here is a retest of this all over here, right? Does that make sense? So again, you just want to qualify your levels. So yes, 20,000 is a hit point for today with some validity, okay? But is it absolutely awesome sauce, okay? The A1, A plus demand level? I would say no, okay? And you know, and you have to speak truthfully on that, okay? In the event that we got lower below that, is this impulse basing impulse right here at 19,700, give or take. If I make this another hot pink lower, I'll make the levels hot pink down here. I know it might be hard to see. I'll make these levels down here, the hot pink levels. This one right below it is a bit more cleaner and fresher because we have an impulse, a basing, and an impulse. And then this is the pullback that could not get down into this area, okay? All right. So again, I'm just probably going a little bit too much here, teaching a little bit too much here on the tube here, but hopefully that makes sense, okay? And I care a lot about our good mentor, our good member, Montu there. Okay, so long story short there, okay, if I kind of, see if I get more time on this real quick. There we go. If you could try to sift out what I'm saying here, and I'm not sure if we're going to do that today, right? Be careful with this pink box there. That's the 20,000 handle, right? That's Montu's 20,000 handle right there, okay? Right there. So if we break that below, we have this right here, 19,730, 19,730. Okay, that would be the level right below, and that's nice and prime and fresh on the daily as well. Okay, does that make sense? all right? Because there could be a lot of liquidity sweeping right here, okay? I would not be surprised maybe next week, the week after, I don't know, right? If we snap below 19,820s in liquidity sweep right below here, coming into this fresh IBI in the 30-minute time frame right below on the dailies, okay? All right, I know you might have got lost in translation there on the insane chart here. All right, but I'm gonna keep it moving and flowing here. Gold. If you go through essentials, phantoms, that will make a lot more sense if I was speaking a different language. Just gold, monthly, weekly, daily up. Okay, gold had a little correctional day yesterday. Put in a little bit of a negative CFG. Not surprising on new highs outside of multiple standard deviations here on the higher time frames, but not surprising one bit. We're back up off this. Right now, gold is tricky right now because it's not tricky because of a macro picture up, but the levels are not. We talked about a little bit about this yesterday in the live trade room, but the formation of the levels are not that great. It's just kind of like on a grind. We could grinding up, which is not bad if you're long, right? Globex low here, Globex high here. So this, along like with the S&P, like we had a kind of level right here. All right, I had another little level right here. The formation is not that great, right? And we kind of like stopped like right, couple ticks right below the right above the 2720 handle right here. This one wasn't great. I was mentioning that be careful with this one. This was developed overnight, right? We kind of took a little bit of a bounce out of here, came lower, right? But the formations on gold right now in the small time frames are not that great, but the trend is beautiful though. Right, the trend is beautiful though. So just be on your P's and Q's. At some point I would just love this thing to just pull back deeper into some daily levels down in here. Okay, even though I'm on the 60, but a Globex trap for today, I would still have this level still mapped out right here at the 2720 for a Globex trap long. Anything lower down in here, we're probably going to get down to the dailies down in here. So that would probably take you down into the 2685 handles, and we have some daily blue level right here. So that would be better. And that's really much all I have for the most part because the formations are just kind of icky, right? But the trend is beautiful. Globex trap short. I mean, yes, do we have all-time highs right here? Be careful with shorting up here, because I would not be surprised if this makes another all-time new high. Okay, the momentum right now is bullish right now with the VWAP right here. Okay, we've already starting to impulse basing, pulling back into some short-term demand and trying to grind higher. Okay, so always off the open. You might have some liquidity coming in. So we have VWAP right there as a reference. I'm on a small time frame here right now. First, if you don't want to take the Globex trap, you have a level right here. This is the breakout level right here. So you might call it 2740, and then there's a little guy right here, right below that, called 2735. So these for intraday join the pullback of potentially intraday. This is inside a Globex session. All right, but these would be a little smaller, kind of aggressive, kind of. And also be strictly like a day trade long join, if that's a word. Then there's another little guy right here, right below that. I'll just round down 2737. I'll do 35 handle, right? Just no, that's too far. Yeah, I'll go more extreme. All right, more the extreme. All right, so that would be like a short-term pullback, okay? Maybe swipe a low VWAP a little bit. Gold does that sometimes, right? VWAP is that white line. And on the 60 and 30 minute time frame, intermediate, if you will, maybe some, get some, basing, break, etc. So, so potentially retest here. All right, I'm not even gonna look at shorts on gold because I'm not even gonna, we don't even have time for that. Nor do we need to because that is just a hopium trade. All right, I'm gonna save some time on oil, folks. I'm kind of just skip over oil right now for the most part. I'll just go straight to the small time frames. Anybody take this 72.25? That's been sitting here forever. We had this level right here, 70, 71, 72 essentially. Then I said entry short liquidity sweep right there, 72.25 to the tick right there. All right, so just again understanding liquidity. All right, not tooting the horn, but I was so focused on S&Ps. I didn't put an order in up here personally myself, but anybody take that 72.25 that's been sitting there for quite some time. Now that's Globex high. Okay, so if you did take it, you would be the high in the Globex high, and right now you would be nice in profit. I would suggest taking some profit back into mid range. Okay, Globex trap. This is still fairly decent, 69.17 give or take potentially for today. The better one would be 67.50. Okay, and then in the event that we break, now that we start a liquidity sweep up here, if we start to make higher highs, well, we could be looking at some 75.50s on oil, which would be up here. You can't see that number, so I'll just move that over. All right, so I'm gonna save some time here. We're gonna move on. Okay. But yeah, if you are tracking and you just trust the levels and trust understanding liquidity, all right, and be patient, you'll do okay. You'll do okay. All right, 72.25. The high right now is 33. So that went 8 ticks against you and slapped down. Okay, so that worked out pretty well. Anyways, moving on. Let's move over, transition a bit here to options world. One of the first things real quick that I'm gonna have to do, spend some time. Somebody had asked this, am I gonna wait for the first couple of minutes? I'll let the first couple of minutes go, right? I mean, these trades are just on fire right now, all the bullish trades. So this is just, it's going to be good. But, I'll let the morning, a couple minutes, but I'm going to have to spend some time at least at a minimum, okay? Because, I trade live, I trade options big, I trade size on options. So I got to unload some size there right off the open on Tesla. So I'm just going to have to steal a couple of minutes of your time here, right off or a couple minutes off the open. VIX. VIX, we had a spike up yesterday. Okay, VIX up, market down. Yesterday's high here. Yesterday's low here. All right, we're going to be paying an 18.7 VIX. All right, we need, there's more to it, but the relationship of VIX to markets, VIX up, market down, VIX down, market up. And we always map this out on the intraday as well. As you can see yesterday, look at VIX, we swiped down a little bit early in the morning. It was kind of rangy in the morning, kind of an odd morning, right? And then it really opened up, VIX up, market down, right? So that was yesterday. So let's move on here for today. We have a gap down here, so I'll use that right there, overnight high, gap down, and then we have the overnight low here. And again, VIX is fairly quiet right now, so we'll see if VIX rallies up. That could be more bearish for the market, okay, at least for the day, all right, and for the time. If it remains in the middle here, then, neutralize, what have you, all right, that would be kind of annoying. And then we have, if it slaps down or moves down with some flow and trend, okay, that would be more bullish for the market, okay, all other things being equal. Okay, SPY, gap. Give me a yay or a nay. Did I talk about this level on Tuesday's YouTube? I might have. I think I did. But yeah, that level came, overswiped a little bit there, worked out. Okay, and we're gapping up. Now we're gapping up to weekly VWAP. This is what we bought puts yesterday. Boom. All right, we nailed that trade down. Nailed it. The right time, but that was yesterday. So yesterday's close was here. We're going to be gapping up here. Now yesterday's high is right here, so it's an inside gap. All right, but just like yesterday, where people might have thought that, oh my God, man, this market's going to crash. It's gone, right? Look at nothing. Gap up, right? Gap up today. That all worked out. Monthly VWAP overshot the VWAP just a little bit. Yesterday was interesting. We overshot daily VWAP for a couple of minutes there. Okay, then we overshot monthly VWAP for a couple of minutes, which felt like days, right? But that was very short term, right? Very short time, and then we rebounced right back up into VWAP, and then we're gapping up here today. So again, you can't be emotional with markets, folks. You just gotta trade. You gotta stay patient. You gotta stay diligent. Okay, no emotion, right? I was dead inside yesterday. I was just trading the tape, right? Even if I made a couple mistakes. Okay, and wasn't in well, anyways, I digress, right? So always remain calm and always be in control of your emotions, right? That takes time, however, I will say, okay? You'll develop that if you continue to grind and get better as a trader in this business, trader and investor. All right, so upside, not an outside gap, it's an inside gap. We'll see. We are gapping up into weekly VWAP, that yellow line. It might be hard to see here. Okay, and we have a gap fill up here, so put that on your radar on SPYs. This is an unfilled gap right now because we gapped down yesterday, ranged for the first maybe 30 minutes, give or take, then slapped down, right? So that left this gap, which is unfilled. today. So could we fill it today, potentially? Yes. All right. All right, now, just because we're gapping up does not mean we're gonna just fly right up and just fill that gap. So again, we have weekly VWAP right there, okay? I'm on the 6-minute time frame right now. So just be diligent, right? So we'll see, we'd have to clear yesterday's high, conquer, reclaim weekly VWAP, and then potentially maybe fill the space. Market makers do play a lot of games around these gaps. Okay, so just because it seems like it might want to fill this gap pretty quickly, okay, it could come up, pull back, come up, pull back. Okay, so just stay diligent. Try not to think. One thing that I train traders to do is not to think too much about what you think is going to happen, and then subconsciously you build a bias, okay, and then you're trading that bias and you're not trading the tape objectively, the price action, okay. So just take it as it is. We had this level here, great. Okay, we had this level B, we liquidity sweeped here, I was talking about that. This still unfilled gap down here on QQQs, okay? And then, site gap, not site gap up, yesterday's low is here, of course. We have gap up, inside gap, so almost the same thing in, almost the same thing. Yeah, Sean Callahan, that's the generalized rule, brother. If you're wrong about 2 to 1 on the credit, just get out. All right. Now, yesterday you saw me flow down, -6 to 1, which was not cool, right? But I think you were in there with the session yesterday. I was like, oh, this is so annoying because right where I'm anchored is right in the nucleus of that demand zone. So I broke a rule in, and then I had to kind of break a rule out. But you don't want to do that. You do not want to do that. All right. But I am a trained professional. But again, we already talked about that. So 3 minutes to open, right? So do not get yourself in the habit of doing that. All right, do not do that. Don't even try to get yourself in that position. In other words, don't break a rule to begin with, right? If you have a credit spread, get below. Yeah, you might want to watch that recording, brother. That was awesome to see. Well, for if you're into trading, all right, a real live trader. Okay, yesterday's low, IWM. Site gap up, GLD. GLD has an outside gap up, kind of almost like a mortgage gap here as well on GLD. This is the ETF for gold. Pretty interesting. That's going to support the case for gold futures to potentially continue higher. Okay, but be careful with this, right? Because we are outside of 2 standard deviations in the monthly and the weekly and the daily time frames, I believe. So we have to be a little careful with that because gold is going to have to need a bigger pullback at some point. All right, so I don't want to get anybody trapped too much up there. Apple slight gap down, inside gap. Amazon, tough one here. Amazon did break down a little bit yesterday, but I'm going to save some time here. I want to be a little bit careful. Now, if Amazon does have fall through down potentially here, if markets catch a little offers here this morning, at this little closing here, outside of this, mess, daily time frame here, messy. That might potentially have some fall through, but again, intraday tape. All right, Amazon's getting funky here, right? We can't really, markets are close to all-time highs, and Amazon is not, right? So I don't know, we could become lower a little bit here on this. All right, but trade the tape. Google, I'm gonna avoid Google here. Intraday tape. This is just in the middle of everywhere. It's kind of a nightmare right now on Google. Tesla, we're in it. I was more bullish. We'll get paid on that this morning. FEGO, I got a trade in yesterday. I stayed in. It's not still looking good here. All right, I'll bring it up maybe later after the open. We're about to open soon. Meta, I cannot catch a right day trade on Meta for the life of me. So I'm just gonna avoid that personally. Microsoft, Tuesday was amazing. I stayed out of it yesterday. Nothing really crazy there. I was liking the NVIDIA gap up about 30 minutes ago when it was like up here, looking to be almost a mortgage gap, but it calmed down a bit here. So mid gap, so be careful off the open here today. AMD, nice. Outside gap, interesting on AMD. Hovering around the weekly VWAP. But AMD kind of bucking the trend there. TSM was wild yesterday. I don't have time to talk about that. And Tesla. Okay, so there's the bell. These are the trade in Tesla here. Okay, so I sold okay? So I sold these options for 154. They're going for a 6 max gain. Sold these ones for 264. They're going for 23, close to max gain. These bought put debits, this is going to be 0, wrong, 79 cents. And then this one is painting nearly a max gain. So we max gained on all 3 of these if you took them, okay? And then one little small loss of 79, okay? So I really don't even really have to even take profit on these because they're the spreads, the sold spreads, because they're basically at like max gain. These are gonna expire worthless. But what I'm gonna do just really quickly is I'm gonna put a bid in here to take some of these off here or an offer at 4. Okay, see if it hit me. All right, so I told you I might need maybe a minute or 2 to take some profit. So in English, what I'm trying to do here on Tesla is this debit here that I bought for $1.50. See if I can get some out here. All right, I'm gonna remain in, but I'm gonna take a little off just in case if we fade down, because these are next week's expirations on November 8th. Okay, there's the note right there, right? So I bought a call, sold a call, I did a bull call debit spread, okay? And risking 1.5, okay, for what, max gain of 3.5. So right now they're painting about 4, or I'm gonna see if I can get out at about 4 on these. All right, see if I can get this now. They're going for 418. Let me see if they hit me here. I'm gonna take some profit on this, okay? If you're in this, I would suggest the same on the debit. The put's wrong, 79 cents, good, because that is the little baby hedge. All the other things are just amazing right now. Humbly speaking. I flipped a coin. I flipped a coin. I put an offer out for 4. Nice. Got filled at 4 because that's what the offer was. I don't have enough time to explain all this right now. And I realize some folks on YouTube are like, what the fuck is even need? Oh, excuse me, swore. So take that back, YouTube. What is he even talking about here? But for my phantoms, okay, I would suggest these ones are good if you took them. This one, I would maybe ease out a little bit here. I just took off a little bit of size on that debit right there, okay? I'm still in on majority of the size, but, you know, this is expiring next week, so we could come back down, all right? So I don't want to give back profit in the event that does, okay? So I took profit real quick, then we're gonna move on. Give me 1 minute here. Took profit. Keep a ledger next day at $4 premium, okay? Still in. Still in. What did I take? 25, about 20, still in about 75%, okay, of my total size, right? So I took off about a quarter, okay? Because these are, I just needed it above 30, 230, and we're trading 245, all right? So monster move there, monster move, all right, up 14%. Greater than the expected move, and that's awesome. That's awesome. Okay, so good trades, folks. If you took it bullish, and oh, this is wrong, right? This is wrong. This one right here. So this is just loss. So minus. This is just straight loss, and this is okay because this was the hedge. So I'm a little bit smaller size on this. This is all on the record recording. Hedge, right? Minus. You know, 79 cents, $79 per contract. Good. Okay, this is good because I had massive bullish exposure on this with these credits here, and this bull call debit. All right, you don't even have to close this. You can just let that expire. Okay, the put one. All right, basically all the puts you can let them expire, and you can be diligent here on the bull call debit. And again, I just took some off at 4. All right, this might settle at 5. So there's still some money. There's about $1 here still to potentially be made. All right. Well, actually, yeah, you can put some offers out. All right, to try to sell that. You know, like 490, 480, something like that. The market maker, you have to pay the market maker a little bit there. So I would suggest maybe put an offer out 480. and just see if they could take you out for the remainder of the size if we click up there. All right, I want to move on now. We got to move on, right? So this is unfair of the YouTube, but we have traders that are in this long. Okay. Awesome. So what now? What's going on? VIX. Let me check the internals. Slightly up. VIX. A little uptick. S&P futures snagged down a little bit there below VWAP. Coming into some Globex demand now. Be patient. Tesla was probably even good for a little quick day trade continuation. Let's see. Oh, such a nice move yesterday on that bought put. Advanced declines, positive 1100 or 800, coming down a little bit there. Opened up a bit extreme, but fading down a little bit. Vol D slightly up, but not extreme. S&P volume slightly up. VIX off the open, a little bit of an uptick. We'll see if that continues taking out the highs here of yesterday. All right. Oh, my baby AVGO. This is going to be a loss on me here. Let me see, Google. Okay, Google breaking down a bit. Google breaking down out of range. Internals are a little heavy. So I'm fixing to get long put Google. Let me just look left to make sure we're not coming into anything here. On the daily time frame, we are breaking out. Daily has a little bit more lower here. Weekly hammer inside bar. It's still inside 2 weeks ago, still inside bar, but a little bit of a hammer bar last week it put in, and we're breaking down on daily range here. Okay, and the market's internals are a little heavy. So I want to attack weakness. And Google has a nice little wide range, decent little wide range bar off open and first negative COG here below VWAP. All right, so Google fixing for a long put here, bearish. We are coming into this little baby demand right here, which is not great. It's just kind of wick. All right, we got VWAP here. I gotta check Dell. Somebody had mentioned Dell, pro gap up. I'll check that real quick. October 25th. Let me see if I can just swipe in Google here real quick. I'll check Dell in a moment. Let me see. What are we trading? 63. 63. If you want to pick up a little more delta, you can get the 165 for 220. If you wanted to get a 40 delta a little bit more cheaper, you can pick up the 82. For YouTube, I'll go a little bit more lower risk, so I'll do the 162 half strike put. Okay, day trade, so it'll be October 25th expiration. These are going for about what, a solid little 83 cents here. A little low risk trade, no big deal. Google, long put, bearish. Done and done. Once I get this fill, 83 is the fill. Yep, get the news in about 5 minutes. Duly noted. I actually had a note from probably a past session here. I'll just tell that long put got filled somewhere, give or take, about right there. Damn, Tesla. Woo! Anybody who's short is in pain right now. Okay, NVIDIA. Let me see our gap up. Let's see. Somebody said pro gap on Dell. It's an inside gap, so it's less. I'm not trying to rain on your parade, but there might be a little bit better things out here for right now. Not trying to rain on your parade there. It's an inside gap. Usually I want to have those outside gaps with max pain on people who are trapped. Let me just check something real quick. I don't talk about this on YouTube as much because it's a deeper level, but let me just get something here real quick. On GEX. Negative open interest on GEX here today. some volume coming in. Yexing. Let's see. See, long calls are trying to come in here. Okay. Man, Tesla's having some people in pain here. JP Morgan financials are fairly strong. Hold on, Nvidia. I don't want to miss Nvidia. Where'd you go? Google new low. We could take a little profit here. They're up about 7 cents. Let's see if we can squeak out a little bit more on that. Man, I'm fixing to. We're coming up to the 250 handle on Tessie. The thing with this is, if I trade the option for expiring tomorrow, the implied volatility is still high on these, so we might have to go out to the November 1 more normalized, and that's good. We got all that Vega that we sold on the puts, crushed Vega and Delta. So this might be a little expensive for some. I might just want to be a little more careful on YouTube, especially hitting the 250 handle on Tessie. Actually, Dell. Oh, MSTR, somebody mentioned. Let me go back to Dell. Let's see, MSTR. Okay, so Insight got broke yesterday's low. Moved down a little bit of a baby red close yesterday. This one actually is interesting because we were actually talking about this yesterday in the live day trade room. We do have news in 2 minutes, folks, so you might want to just wait a little bit there. But this one was super interesting. Here's why. I did notice we have a major open interest block right there on options for tomorrow's expiration, the 25th at 2:30. So they might be gunning for those 2:30s. And we got nice movement off MSTR here this morning. Okay, pro gap up. It's outside bar now, right? Don't want to chase it too much, so I'm going to be a little careful. Spread could be a little bit wide on MSTR too as well. It just stock split. So right now it's on all time. It's at not all time highs, sifting out all time highs. I typically don't like to buy the new high here. I wanted to see if you can get a little bit of a pullback here. But if you're a little aggressive, okay, you can maybe pick up say the 232 for 425, give or take right now. This might pull back on you, especially with news coming. Okay. What you can also do too is scale in. Maybe do small size right now so you have some exposure. If it just never pulls back and just continues to run, then if it does, you can put on add size more down here. All right, in the event that we pull back. All right, or you can just wait for a pullback. But if it doesn't pull back and it goes, you might miss some exposure. All right. And also the spread, you see the spread could be like, 20, 30, 35, 40 cents. And that's not ideal too if you hit market. So you want to be a little careful on that, okay? But good setup. It's a good setup. Shout out whoever brought that up, okay? And Dell too, I'm not saying Dell is not a good setup. All right, I'm not trying to make fun of anybody, but it's, less enticing. All right, MSTR is more of a, what's called alignment. We talk about that, all right, alignment. All right, monthly, weekly, daily, you can see the daily is below the 200, below the 20, okay, versus something like MSTR, that's showing relative strength, okay? Where it's like monthly, weekly, daily, up, everything's above the 20, riding the 20 beautifully here, right? So again, that's part of being a good trader is qualifying. All right, anybody take some profit already on Google there? That was a quick little swipe. Spies are trying to break down, but news is out. News is coming out. All right, so far, wide range bar off the open on spies. Right now, trying to hold below daily VWAP. This is a 5-minute time frame, so very small. So we got VIX up. Negative GEX on open interest. So I'd like to see VIX take out that overnight high for some fall through down to the downside on spies if it's going to be that way. Vince declines are puking out a little bit there. All right, so you could elect to try to get short some spies here. Two stop loss areas, you could be right above here. I would be careful with that one, or you could just say, I like it because we have a nice firm clear bar here to be potentially wrong if wrong, right? So I would like to put my stop loss above here, okay? Now this is still a macro bull market, folks, right? Most of FANG is down other than Tesla on earnings. Again, I would like to see VIX kind of take out these highs here. But let's see, if I were to fix on a put for right now, and we can just ride VWAP. We got a little pullback right now for some lower risk entry. This could be wrong, okay? So if I go to SPYs, there you go, MSTR pulled back a little bit there for you folks. My time's up right now, but I don't want to stop. I'll do tomorrow's expiration. I'm talking with the Phantoms yesterday about this. Offset a little theta. What's the SPY quote right now? 579. All right, so we got to pull back to VWAP. If you wanted to pick up, say the 79, gap fill would be 78. If you pick up, say the 578, that's going for about $1.48 if you were to buy that. If you have stop loss above mother bar, call it like 580 up here, 580, call it 25. Let me just get some risk on that for us. All right, 580.25. Maybe risk about 50 cents, 55 bucks, give or take on that. All right, so going for about 1.61 right now. So I will, I'll lock this in here, even on this little small account here live. I'm going to put it in my bigger account over here to the left of me. All right, so SPY put, tomorrow's expiration to offset some theta. Okay, 578 strike. All right, tomorrow's expiration, meaning October 25, right? Long put. Come on. All right, if we break a new high, I will just cut out, take my small loss, about what, 50, 55 cents? All right, got filled like 163 on this little account here, and then on the bigger account here, I'm probably gonna get filled at like what, 150, 157. Put bearish day trade. All right, remember stop loss up here, break new bar high, 580.25, okay? It's wrong, if that happens. All right, if that, I'm wrong, out. If not, could be right, ride winners. Let's see, MSTR. Ooh, anybody pull trigger on MSTR on that pullback there? Cool. Google's battling that little intraday, intermediate time frame. NVIDIA did not give us something there, but I'm keeping an eye on that. I like that opening bar print. But we could get faded up. We could actually come in yesterday when we got short right there. It could come higher, okay, and come into this weekly VWAP with this drop base, big drop. That was when it really gave out yesterday, okay? This is exactly what we put on those puts. Anyways, so just know that, right? So you might be getting stopped out, smart, right? Or if you don't want to get stopped out right above here, okay, you could potentially leg in even more up here, okay, on SPYs. All right, but that's up to traders' discretion. All right, but even if we did break above this wide range bar off open here, wide range bar off the red bar there, okay, we do have this little drop base drop right there. And that was a massive drop, okay? And we have weekly VWAP, that yellow line right there. Okay, so there's some confluence here to potentially short, be bearish, okay? Nice little level to lean against. To be bearish for a day trade, right? We have weekly VWAP confluence. NVIDIA on my radar, let's see, there we go. Gap filled NVIDIA, I like it. We came up to weekly VWAP, push back, gap filled. Let's see, are we above daily VWAP? Yep, like it. Positive COG close here. All right, NVIDIA, nice. Shout out whoever said that. I missed your name there, but good job. Nice. I like it too. Here's why. Because obviously monthly, weekly, daily, macro up. NVIDIA just came off all-time highs. We pulled back. Okay, we'll pull back a little bit here. All right, inside bar. I got you. Stop loss for Google. Let me do this one real quick. I like this too. I got you. I won't leave the session until that is done. I like it because we already gap filled and swiped. So I have a nice, clear, definitive, objective level of, okay, if I'm wrong, get me out right here. Okay. All right, so that comes in at what, 39. I want to be below that, right? NVIDIA could be a beast. 39, I'll give it a couple of cents lower. 39, 35. All right, trading 140s on VWAP right now, give or take, 140.50. So let me see what that looks like here. Stop loss price slice 139.35 here. Okay, and day trade, tomorrow's expiration. Perfect. The 141 for 150, I'll take it. You risk about what, 55, 60 cents for NVIDIA? Pfft, nothing. I'll take that. All right, so I'm gonna get the 151 strike call, tomorrow's expiration, for about $1.40, give or take, $1.50. You'd be risking about 50, 55 cents, 60 cents, or dollars per contract. And very definitive in terms of if I'm wrong. All right, just sent out an order. And this will help too, because if the SPYs are wrong and NVIDIA holds bids, NVIDIA's strong stock right now, of course, still. Just got filled at 146. All right, so I got some bullish exposure here in the market. Again, stop loss right there, 135, 139.35. All right, so we'll see. Inside day still, very early, but well, you know, we'll see. Spots are trying to click up above view up just a little bit there. Next. AVGO. Team, I'm wrong on AVGO. I'm certain that I'm wrong. Yeah, I'm wrong on that. Data decay is gonna kill me. I carried over a trade yesterday on AVGO. It was, you know, for me, it was like small risk. So just want to show that for the team there. But I'm gonna let these expire tomorrow, so I'll remind folks on that tomorrow as well. Stop loss Google, right? That was a question. That's a good one. So essentially, we, you know, long story short here, what do we pay for these? 83 cents. All right, let me see what this looks like. You know, we're a little bit above VWAP. It's a bit more of the weaker one. You know, that's okay for a little bit above VWAP as long as we don't conquer it, reclaim it. But we, you know, we're coming up in this little area right here. And long story short, keep it short and sweet. You know, I'll let it go a little bit here. If we break a new high, then I'll be out. Right now, I went lower delta on this, right? So got these for fairly cheap. But let me just see. So if I put a stop loss here, 165.05, it may be just total premium. I'll see. Let me see. $165.05. And it might be total premium. We'll see. Let me see. So it'll be about 60 cents. Right? It was 60 bucks out of there. So you save yourself like 20 something odd 3 cents there. You could do that. You know, right now we are above its VWAP, conquering it a bit there, right? Right now we have, so one of the things that you can do, this kind of reminds me a little bit of yesterday. Right, remember this is where the sells came in here, right? We had a big move. Well, not a big move down. We had a wide range bar, a little bit of buying, and then boom, sellers came in, right? So I'd hate to stop out right above VWAP right here. We haven't really. Right, I want to give it some time to see what happens here, right? Remember, we're below monthly VWAP. Okay, we're below weekly VWAP, which should be here. $21. All right, so the edge is bearish. Not the greatest setup because of inside bar with Google. It's kind of a mess in the middle of range on the higher time frames. All right, and then we're above a little bit of daily, but I want to see if it gets through here. So like right now, my stop loss is going to be at least right here, right? So I want to give some space of these buyers and sellers kind of fighting it out. All right, now if we start to conquer, now we're already kind of above it, right? So we're trying to conquer it. Now if we have a retest of VWAP, okay, and we start to come back up here, okay, that might give me more inclination, like, okay, I might want to just tighten up, okay? But right now we got a little bit of a battle right here, so it's a little bit too early, right? Because if you cut out right now and we come up here, then we just take a clip down back below VWAP, okay, you cut yourself, right? So you cut yourself a little bit. So, you know, you can save ourselves a little bit of coin. Bottom for 83, won't get max loss. If we get up here, 165.05, you're wrong, okay? If I want to put my stop loss right here, you might get clipped out, okay? Especially yesterday and today, this week, it's been choppy, right? So then you get clipped out of a trade, all right? And then, because this is the opening day's range, essentially, like right here. Like this box, like right here is like kind of the opening day's range here. All right, so we just a little swipe down, pull back into the opening day's range. Okay, so just be a little bit patient on that, that's all. Check X. I keep that reserved for phantoms only. Montu, not hit Phantoms, is that Montu, but. Woo! There's a fight today. There's some action here. Almost like yesterday though. Volume positive gags, open interest negative gags. Stay focused today, folks. Lately, the positive gags is coming in. Negative gags is if markets sell off, you can have a move down. What's that Gex box? I can't even explain that. I'm already over time. I can't even explain that. Join Phantoms. You might be a Phantom, but if you are a Phantom, I teach this in Phantoms. I don't have time. This is not a one-word answer. Believe me. All right. This is a book. This is a book. All right. A 500-page book on this. But in short, it's going to let me know. You have to know options. What is the delta, gamma, vega, theta, vana, charm, exposure based on open interest and volume on options. So there you go. Thanks. Cool. All right, folks, I gotta go. All right, I'm over time. Good job on Tesla. Google, be a little bit patient. Could be wrong on that. Small loss. NVIDIA. All right. Spies could be wrong on this too. All good. Be patient. Keep this on your radar right there, as mentioned. Okay. Right. We might be coming up here. All right. Some of you might just get stopped out real quick, and some of you might just add. Again, potentially add in here. All right. That weekly view up is powerful. All right. Yep. Tonight. As Joe is mentioning, tonight's Thunder Thursday, so I'll see some of y'all later today, this evening. We got 2 classes this evening, options and futures, so it's going to be fast and furious. And if you're new and you're like, what the heck is going on YouTube here, check out TradePhantoms.com, TradePhantoms.com. There's a couple of fakes out there, so make sure you get the right one, okay? Click the register, right? Everybody who are Phantoms already in here right now started here, right? Tonight is special because Thursday, it's October 24th, meaning that tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9 hours away, if you were to put your name, your email, register, you get sent an email, okay? Here's an agenda of what you'll learn, okay? Mr. Black, Mr. Green is gonna host that. Sometimes they're in there both together, which is always a treat, okay? Here's kind of the agenda. I'm not gonna read this out, but we're all professional traders here, Mr. Black, Mr. Green, myself, okay? All assets, stocks, futures, forex, options, even crypto, all the way down to short-term day trading in futures, for example, all the way to long-term investing, even hedging and putting put insurance on your long-term wealth and portfolio. So it's a one-stop shop for everything. Okay, we do everything. We don't just focus on one asset class. We focus on multiple asset class, and our goal is to train people professionally the right way to analyze this market and to, of course, increase your lifestyle. Okay, in this great business called trading and investing. Okay, risk associated, of course. So we always come from a risk management, risk first orientation. As a professional trader, it's always about what is the risk and what if I am wrong. Okay, so we focus on that heavy, right? Heavy in terms of risk management. That said, I'll see some of y'all this evening from my Phantoms. Okay, trade safe for the remainder of the day. Right now, it's getting spooky right now in the market. Okay, so be careful. A little rangy. Some stocks up, some stocks down. VWAP, GEX is positive, negative. So, be careful, right? Be patient. And if you don't know what you're doing, be very careful. I would suggest, okay, come into Phantoms because you'll get trained up and you'll be able to navigate these waters no matter what the waters throw at you. God bless. Take care. Blue out.